Hi Rick, it's Dave here again at Bannister Hall. Rick's asked me to have a quick chat about some of the Acers that we have here. What we're looking at here is collectively Japanese maples, Acer palmatum, Acer japonicum. What I'm doing with this one here is I'm just taking the dead off. Quite often over winter you will get the tips dying back. Not usually quite as extreme as this. There's nothing at all wrong with the plant. It's just that a lot of the tips have died off. Do not worry about it. If you've got one like this, just take it back. All I'm going to do with this is even it up. What I'll probably do is have a look inside. If there's any crossing stems or stems that have been rubbing together, I might open it up a little bit and let a little bit of light in there. This one's Sangakaku. It has a lovely red stem to it and these sort of limey green leaves. Absolutely lovely. I'm a little bit late doing all this. Really, I ought to have done it a couple of weeks ago. This is generally what people call Japanese maples. I think there's another name. Amura maples is a name I heard a long time ago. I don't think anyone said that for a while. A semi-shaded spot, if you can find one, is the best place for them. Not too damp. They don't like the feet sitting in water too much. What else can I tell you about the maples? They can be susceptible, especially the feathery leaved ones, you know, the dissected leaves, to the wind burning them. If you can keep them out of the worst of the winds and out of the worst of the sunshine, the palmate ones, palmatum types, will suffer with the sun getting the water wet on the leaves, so they can burn around the edges, or they can burn in spots where sunlight has created a bit of a magnifying glass effect on the leaves. So again, don't worry about it too much. There's not a right lot you can do about it. If you can find a spot where they're out of these conditions, that's then the best, but it won't kill the plant. I don't think I've ever seen one die through having the odd manky leaf on it. It just looks a bit tatty. This fella here, Aconitifolium, is my all-time favourite. It's a good combination between the dissectum, these dissected leaves, and the big palmate leaves over there. It is a palmatum type, but they'll get the nice red tinges to the edge of the leaf, and if you look at these lower down, they're lovely. They're a little bit tougher. They'll stand up with a bit more weather on them. When I get the chance, I'm going to nip this one back a bit. That's the growth it's made this year. It's been quite a bit. I'm going to knock it back to either 2 or maybe even 3 nodes. You can always take more off, you can't add it back on, so do less rather than more to start with, just to try and get this to become a compact bush, because the colour on this in autumn is absolutely to die for. I've got some pictures. I took some leaves last autumn. I'll send them to Rick so you can show them on the video, but this has got to be one of my all-time favourites. They've been cultivated, I would think, 200 or 300 years of cultivation in these things now, so there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of varieties. I could probably name about 10 or 15 off the top of my head, but after that I'd be stuck. All ever so slightly different. There were people who are experts on Acers who can tell you why, what and how they're all different. But there's the few basic types. There's a dissected green, a dissected red, and then you've got the palmate leaves. You've got green ones, red ones, and the varying colours in between. There's some nice yellow ones, there's some pink ones. You can get one for almost any situation. They don't get too big and they don't grow too fast. A good example, I got one the very year I started working with plants, which is over 30 odd years ago now. Cost me £1. It was about this big. That is now about so high. It's probably about 3.5 foot high and maybe about 5 foot across, and he's absolutely stunning. But that has taken 30 odd years to get to that with a good trunk on it. These ones like this are grafted at the top. You can see the graft on the smaller ones. I did see a graft earlier. Here we go. If you look at the screen one here, you can just see where the graft there has started to grow. So that I will peel off rather than nip off. Ignore those few little bits of aphid on there, nobody saw them. Because that'll take away any ancillary buds that are down there with it, so hopefully that won't grow back. But that is what the rootstock is. It's this fella, and that is the cyanwood. That is the one that we really want. So I'm just going to take take any of them off I found. There's another little one just inside there. I could honestly spend hours in this tunnel doing this. I don't have the time to do it normally, but it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. With something like this, there isn't any dead ones on this, but dead stems and things on this, I would do something probably about there where they cross, where the stems cross. I might take this chap out here, or that chap out there, just to warm it up a little bit. What else can I tell you? The flowers. Where did I see some flowers? We'll just nip outside this tunnel because there's some flowers and one outside. That, which is finished flowering, these are the fruit. So like an Acer pseudoplatanus is the ordinary spinning Jenny tree, would have called it as a kid. These Acers will produce flower. They've finished flowering now, they should have done. And this is the fruit, just like normal spinning Jennies you would get on a tree you would see down the street. I think that'll do for the time being, but if there's anything else you want to know, give us a shout and we'll sort you out. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Right, we've done this, and now once all these leaves open up a little bit there now, which they will do, and I might have to give it a quick squirt of soapy water to get rid of some of these aphids or something, unless I can encourage the blue tits in to eat them. That'll fill out. You won't notice any of this burnous at the top, but it looks so much better than the picture we had a few minutes ago. I can see just behind now, just little things like this chap here. Really, I ought to have done this a few weeks ago, but one thing or another, it's just not happened. There'll be odd bits like that. I could honestly spend hours in this tunnel doing it. Right, I better get on. Ta-ra.